Okay, so I had an idea. I wasn't sure if I should do it. Leonie told me I should. Maybe people like it, I don't know. I'm gonna do a book review on a couple different books. Reading's not really my thing, but these are books that I've had since probably, most of these books I've had since like 91, 92 at the latest. So I've moved around a lot, lived in a lot of different cities. I kept my like 18-inch white pepper mill and my cookbooks. Other than that, shit went to the wind. If I jumped across the country, I packed up my books and my pepper mill in a box and took off. So these books, I kind of cornerstoned my culinary career on these books. So here we go. The first one is going to be Escofier, Complete Guide to the Art of Modern Cookery. So this book was first published in, I believe, 1902, 1907. So after the French Revolution or whatever, I always felt that the French guys held food at a higher standard because culturally they were starving at one point in life. Over here, if you're hungry, you go out and shoot a deer, raise a cow, kill a chicken. Over there, the whole let them eat cake thing, they took the queen's head off. I felt that they really revered food in a different way than we in America do. So after, there was like, in the late 1800s, everyone was making these sauces. It was a bunch of quagmire. Escoffier is the first person to like write it all down, and kind of whatever he said then went from there on, Who knows what it really was before, but in 1907, Escoffier writes this book, and now he's the godfather of modern cuisine. So there are some recipes, but it's more about the sauces. What is a sauce béarnaise? What is sauce Chiron? And what's in it? What are the garnishes? So, how do you do a gratin? How do you classically do a boiled leg of lamb? I don't know why you'd boil it, but they do. It may not be the best for your cooking your dinner, but if you want a better understanding of how things got their name, how did Bernadette get to be called Bernadette, or what is in Bernadette? Because I've heard it butchered many times at many famous restaurants, and I'm just like, that's not Bernadette. So that's it, Escoffier. If you have any questions about what something is or what the proper name is, I'd go to Escoffier. And if somebody argued with me, I'd be like, too bad, it's what Escoffier said. Second book, and I've talked about, I posted this on Facebook once, but this is On Food and Cooking, The Science and Lore of the Kitchen. This book pretty much has no recipes. If you watch the roux video, most of my understanding of roux came from this book. I'm not a big reader. I'm not the most intellectual guy. It's hard to read. It's all about chemistry. It's how the flour thickens soups. Does searing really seal in juices? About how eggs, what happens when an egg cooks, why does it turn white? Milk, what happens with a creme fraiche or a sour cream, and chemically what's going on. So there's a lot of chemistry in this book explaining to people, why does things happen? Why does the egg turn white? I can't remember if I read the whole thing or not, but it's one of those books where I'd read a page and then I'd have to go back and read it again because I was thinking about something else. It's easy to have your mind wander. Maybe I'm not mentally strong enough to read the thing from front to cover, but it's a good book, and I still reference it today. Maybe I could find it online, but I'm old and I don't really, trust online. I trust On Food and Cooking now. Another book, it was published in like 90. So I got it in 91 when it was like the hot new thing, All right, third book is gonna be Food Lover's Companion. This one can be kind of iffy. I still will reference it. If somebody asks a question about food, I'll go to these 3 books and kind of make up my own determination of what the answer to their question is. This is more like food definitions, like falafel. What's falafel? What's Fahrenheit? monkfish. It says sea anglerfish. Monkey bread, Monte Cristo sandwich, Monterey Jack cheese, Petrosol. So it's kind of like a dictionary. It's not really, here again, it's not recipes. I don't like recipe books. Cooking by recipe to a chef is like paint by number to an artist. So I throw the recipes right out the door. I don't like any of that. So anyway, this is a good definitions book. I have found some definitions in here that I don't quite agree with. But anyway, it's a good one. You might want to check it out, or check it out online. These two are kind of cheater. When I was a chef, this would go in my back pocket, and this was my recipe book. So aioli, which in America is garlic mayonnaise. This is Restaurant Danielle's recipe for aioli, which is an egg yolk and potato mixture with saffron that you use to thicken bouillabaisse. Has nothing to do with garlic mayonnaise. I don't know where that came about or how, but that's my recipe for Danielle's aioli. Here we have a gastrite from Commander's Palace. At one point, I thought that, I might get this published or something. Still might, but, it's cute to have. It takes me back memory lane. Some of these recipes like mayonnaise, 30 eggs, 10 egg yolks, 20 juiced lemons. I can tell that's Commander's Palace. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're making like 10 gallons of mayonnaise here. The only place I worked that would make that much, in a lot of restaurants I worked at, be considered like hacking it. It's too many people to make really good food. But I can tell that it was a Commander's recipe. Lobster stock, that was from Restaurant Danielle. So this is cool, anybody have any questions or anything, I'd be glad to share those. This was my dessert one. It's way shorter. I don't like baking. Baking's too scientific. But chocolate souffle, caramel sauce, champagne jelly, cookie dough 1, 2, 3. All these, 2 pounds of butter, 2 pounds of sugar, 4 pounds of butter, 5 pounds of flour, 8 whole eggs, pound of cornstarch. That's like basic, cookie dough recipe from Commander's. Genoa cake. That was from Alain Rondelli. Lemon curd. So these are kind of cool. I mean, you can't really use them, I guess, but these are the only recipes that I keep. One other book that I would recommend is Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential. Now, I don't like Anthony Bourdain. I don't like the whole food chef. In fact, his book is one of the reasons that I got out of cooking. Because I called some people I knew in New York, and they were like, oh, that guy sucks. He can't cook for shit. Yeah, he was always going down on the line, but he writes this book and he gets a TV show. And that's when I realized making it in the culinary world has nothing to do with how good of a cook you are. And when that kind of dawned on me, I realized I'm too upfront with people. Like, I'm not an ass kiss. And, at that point, I decided it was time for me to get out of the restaurant business, because it didn't matter how good of a cook I was. That has nothing to do with whether you succeed or not. So anyway, I didn't read his recipe section, but what it did, it'll give you an example of what it was like in the restaurant world, getting off work at midnight, chasing the waitresses around, a lot of hard drugs, having sex in the storeroom. When he was a kid and he ate a raw oyster, everyone was amazed, and he figured out that food was power. It's a good book. I didn't read the recipe part, but if you want to have a glimpse into, like a day in the life of a chef, I'd check out Kitchen Confidential. Now, my last book, it's a bonus. If you're here for the cooking stuff, you can just leave now. This has nothing to do with cooking. But it's Zen and the Art of Poker. This book doesn't tell you how to play poker, but it tells you things like, poker's like Rochambeau. Anybody can win Rochambeau. Someone's not better, but if he's been going rock the whole time, maybe you should go paper. And just the ebb and flow of things, If the table is all folding everything, you start raising. if everyone on the table's raising like crazy, you fold until you have a really solid hand, and then you let them bet it up. So this book's cool. I liked it. I've read it twice because it's easy read. It's like little blurbs. But anyway, if you're into Zen and you're into poker, you should check it out. All right, guys, I appreciate it if you made it this far. Hope you liked it. Let me know what you think. Play around